Hey guys, this is our recap of the meditation course that we just got back from about a week ago.
The meditation course we went to is not your stereotypical type of meditation that most people think of. This meditation is called Vipassana. The word Vipassana means to see things as they really are.
So this particular tradition of meditation is currently taught by the audio and video recordings of the former head teacher, Mr. S.N. Goenka, who is like the world's most charming, chubby little Burmese man. And he does all these weird, throaty chantings and
The environment that you're in at this course is very different than your day-to-day life.
Yeah. Starting with the fact that you don't wear your shoes inside.
Yeah. Also, other things like no outside contact. So you basically renunciate like a lot of things. You're not allowed to be like calling people, texting people. You can't be writing letters and like no outside contact because the whole idea is that you're working in isolation.
Yeah. And renunciation might be a term that a lot of people aren't really familiar with, because in the West, people don't renunciate things. We tend to do the opposite. What's the opposite of renunciate?
Multiply.
Yeah, we tend to just like acquire more and more things.
Yeah, another one of those things is talking. You're allowed to talk to your the assistant teachers or the teachers. You're allowed to talk to your course managers if there's an issue. But it goes back in with working in isolation. Like, you are supposed to feel like you're there by yourself. I'd say the women actually were not very good about silence. Not that we were talking to each other.
It's hard for a lot of people to not talk or communicate.
The girl I was sitting next to in the meditation hall, she would like sneeze or burp, and like during the middle of meditation she would be like They expect you to be modest, like you don't want to distract others, so
no shorts or tank tops or leggings.
And also they expect you to like renunciate any sort of like ritual or anything like that while you're there, because they want you to like give your full attention to the practice.
Yeah.
And also the timetable is really strict, which most people would probably find really difficult. But I actually found that having a really strict timetable like made the days a lot easier.
You basically you wake up at 4:30 and you are working or resting all day until 9:30.
10.5 hours of that day are meditation. You obviously get breakfast and lunch and a tea break and everything, so you have time to rest. It's pretty intimidating when you look at it for the first time, but once you start, it's
really nice actually.
Yeah, like
you don't have to think about anything. It makes it.
It's all laid out on the table for you. Like you don't have to think about it.
It makes it. It's a very well crafted setup. Like it's really easy to go in and focus and work really hard on the technique for the 10 days. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
One of the first and most basic things that are required and asked of you when you go to the course is that you follow a really, really strict moral code.
This part of the meditation is called sila. Yeah, you call it strict, but it's pretty like...
It is basic.
It's pretty basic. It's called the 5 precepts.
So a precept is like a vow. A teacher told me once that the moral code or the precepts are like a suit of armor, and anytime you break the precepts, it's like dropping acid onto the armor and slowly melting it away.
The 5 precepts are to abstain from killing,
which I find most difficult.
Like, they don't want you to kill bugs at the course. Like, they put insect relocation devices everywhere,
which
is really
which
funny.
is a piece of paper in a cup.
But the piece of paper is laminated.
It is, so it can stay there forever. But you catch the bug in the cup, slide the paper under,
and
then take it outside and let it go, and it's a very cute thing.
And the next precept is to abstain from stealing. The
Lying.
third is to abstain from lying.
Extra easy when you're not talking.
Yes. The fourth one is to abstain from taking intoxicants of any sort. And then the last one is to abstain from sexual misconduct. Which, during the course, it's actually to abstain from sexual activity.
The first part of the actual meditation practice is called anapana. It's a observation of breath.
And so anapana is where you're implementing what they call samadhi, which means concentration of the mind, which Gabe already explained.
So you do that for 3.5 days, and then you start the actual practice of Vipassana, which is observation of body sensations. And not just observation, but like a pure objective observation where you're not reacting how you normally would.
I'd say that my biggest struggle during the course was the fact that I'm a very impatient person. I personally could not stop constantly looking at the clock, basically. Every day felt like the longest day of my life. But on the last day of the course, when noble silence was lifted and I started talking to everybody, I was like, where did all the time go?
Yeah.
That was my biggest struggle. But walking out, I felt really happy leaving. Not because I hated it, but just happy. I felt a lot of happiness from everybody we were surrounded with, and satisfaction from doing it and being committed and disciplined. But also I walked out just feeling like I had so many more tools to work on myself with.
For me, the biggest even is confidence in whether or not I'm practicing the technique, because everything else that I do, school or taekwondo or even working in our relationship, you can get feedback from the other people that it's important to. You can ask the teachers for help and assistance, but they can't be inside your mind experiencing what you're experiencing. So much of it is 100% self-discovery and figuring things out for yourself. I think that actually that was one of the best things I got out of the last course, was I sort of broke through that wall a little bit.
This past course?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was able to just relax and realize that it is a really, really long journey, and I have plenty of time to figure things out.
This was my first course, and I learned about it through Gabe. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it. And then I just did it. And I feel like a big benefit for me was walking out and feeling like we had a different connection. It kind of took us to the next level a little. So the next real important part about the practice, what they call dana, which is donation. In order to keep this practice as pure as possible, they run on a complete solely on a donation basis and volunteer basis. In the little booklet, they say keeping it in its purest form away from commercialism, basically. It's important that you not only sit courses and experience the meditation that way, but also through serving courses. I think that's what I want to do. That next time we go, I really want to serve, because I walked out with so much benefit.
Yeah, so definitely next time we go, we'll be making food.
Yeah.
And cleaning up, which is a crazy experience in and of itself.
That's an important thing that they talk about the last day of the course is dana.
Speaking of things they talk about in the last day of the course, is how if you just keep going to a course and then go to a course and go to a course, it's good, but you don't really get the full benefit of the course unless you can incorporate the practice into your daily life. And their recommendation, I guess, is to sit an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening. So 2 hours a day, which we've been pretty diligent about, it seems like. Most days we sit 2 hours a day.
We just want to share our experience and explain it to you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh.